South Shore Rides here, bringing y'all a look at another vehicle. This time I got another Buick on deck, and this is a 2014 Buick Verano. Y'all know how I do it. I give y'all a look around the cabin. First of all, a quick sweep. This is considered a mid-size sedan. This model has a two-tone interior. That's your instrument cluster. You got IntelliLink, something that GM puts in pretty much all its cars these days. Cruze, phone controls, volume on the wheel, and that's your instrument cluster. You got two-tone wood grain. I don't know if that's real wood grain or fake wood grain. It's probably fake. These are the way they make the parking brakes in a lot of cars now. That's actually your parking brake. It's a button now. They changing these cars up, doing some fancy things with them. Now, you get the look of it. GM is in love with these swooping dashboards right now. They kind of curve and swoop down. You got wood grain on the door, power windows. That's all standard stuff. Now, let me tell you why I don't really like this car. If y'all saw my Buick LaCrosse video, I love that Buick. But this Buick has some things against it, and I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Besides the cluttered look of the instrument panel, I don't really like the way that looks. And it gives off a cheap vibe in the middle of a luxurious vibe. And that basically sums up why I don't like this car. It's kind of a cross between a luxury car and an economy car. I mean, you got things like cheap plastics up here, all up here, but then they throw in some soft touch right here. All this is cheap hard plastic, but this lighter colored material is soft. Wood grain here, but cheap plastic here in the middle. Leather seats, but not full leather seats. Soft here, and cheap plastic feeling here in the middle of a, I'm guessing that's fake wood grain. See, this car is confused. Basically, if you compare this car to a Chevy Cruze, it's really no difference. So Buick is under a quote-unquote luxury line, but this is basically a dressed-up Chevy Cruze. So I can't recommend this car based on that fact. You know, I've seen a lot of cars based on my job, and everything about this car is built just like a Chevy Cruze. The only thing they did was put the Buick logo on it, put some fake wood grain looking trim, a few nice bells and whistles like auto climate control, and the IntelliLink system, which you can probably get optional in a Cruze. I'm not sure about that. But this whole cluster, everything about this is just like a Chevy Cruze. It's just dressed up a little nicer. This is a dressed up Chevy Cruze trying to pass as a Buick. And I can't get down with that. I don't like the way the car is built with that. It's just not, it's not luxury and it's not standard. I mean, it's just a mixed mash of both worlds, and it's not working for me. And in a strange way, this car kind of still has the feeling of a grandpa style Buick. And I don't like using that term because I don't want to discriminate and call a car a grandpa car. I don't like terms like that. But I don't know what else to call this thing. It don't really look as cool and hip as the Cruze does. And it's not as luxurious as the new Buicks that they put out, like the LaCrosse. So it's kind of caught in between us, like you know, it's having an identity crisis in my eyes. So I don't know what to make of it, except for the fact that I don't like it. It drives pretty much just like a Cruze too. Like they probably even got the same engine. On the road, it's no different than driving a Chevy Cruze. And the body is pretty much the same as well. So, I mean, there's really no reason to spend extra for this Buick Verano. If you're gonna get a Buick, go ahead on and go full time with the LaCrosse. I'm guessing if you got the money to buy a car like this, you got the money to buy a Buick LaCrosse, you know. And if you don't, really had the money to go full luxury with the Buick, if you're not like in a super high income level, and you say, hey, this Buick Verano is pretty nice, you know, I would say just get a maxed out Chevy Cruze instead, with leather interior and everything, and you'll probably still end up paying less than you would for this Buick. It's not worth it. It's not a bad driving car. It's just no different. It's not different enough to recommend it. Let me get in the back seat. It's kind of cramped. It's pretty cramped. This is, trust me, take my word for it, this is nothing but a halfway dressed up Chevy Cruze, and I can't recommend this car based on that fact. I would say before you spend the money on a car like this, get the highest trimmed, compare it to the highest trimmed Chevy Cruze and see what the price looks like. I haven't done it, but I plan to after I shoot this review, because I'm curious. I wonder what this basic level Verano is compared to a maxed out Chevy Cruze. I think you would come out better getting a maxed out Chevy Cruze. So, from 1 to 5, let me give you my score.